sky. And so after those shots were fired, the plane left. Then the other one came from the east, and it was white, and it was red, white, and blue. They all looked like regular airplanes, but they had the power of jets, like fighting jets. And it started firing shots, and it fired and fired and fired back, and it was real powerful, and smoke filled the sky. Then all of a sudden, it disappeared, and smoke disappeared as well. Then it was like a few seconds later, then I heard another roaring sound. It was a plane that was coming from the north. It was white, and it started firing shots, and smoke filled the sky. Then all of a sudden, it left, and then another plane came from the south, and it started firing shots, and all of a sudden the smoke left. But what I noticed about all of the planes, they looked like they had this power of a fighting jet, but they looked beautiful like regular commercial planes, but they all were white planes, red, white, and blue, and they all had their flag symbol on them. But I remember distinctly that the west side was the Americans. I remember on the west side it had the United States flag. But the other flags I couldn't tell because the flags almost looked the same, but I knew they were different countries fighting. But they were really like airplanes, but all of a sudden they had the power to fight like jets. And so I was so scared that I fell, and I just looked around, and all of a sudden when I looked up after the shots were fired, the sky cleared, a beautiful sky, blue sky, like nothing ever happened. And then all of a sudden I was getting up, looking around, trying to figure out what happened. I saw cars abandoned, but I didn't see anything like disruptive. I just knew cars were abandoned, but they wasn't all in the road or anything. They was just in the field or on the side of the road, and I didn't see anybody. All of a sudden I saw a dog, like a nice sized dog, kind of big, but it came to me and it was whimpering. It was like a golden brown dog, and it was a beautiful dog. But I'm just not an animal person. But I embraced the dog, and we both was trying to, run for cover and try to go hide to see what was going on. And I remember as I was walking toward the road, not too far from where the incident happened, and I remember seeing a portal come out of the sky, but it was like in the mist of the air. But it was too close for comfort for me. It scared me. And so when I saw this portal come down, it didn't quite land on the road, but it was just hovering. And I saw two men come out, walking through like it was a hallway. And they walked through the portal. And it was kind of strange. And I saw both of them walking. And one of them they both was dressed real well. They both had on black, white, and olive green. And the green was such a fresh, beautiful color. So the first one, when he came, he was real serious. Like he was very observant of what was going on, but in his world. So when he walked out, I remembered he was dressed like he was going to a wedding. And he had on a green tie and a green cover bond. And he had on a white shirt and a black suit. He was very dressed. And the other one, he walked out, but he was very talkative. He was just talking. And the other one was listening to him, but he was really trying to be observant. So the one that was real talkative, he had on an olive green sweater with a white shirt underneath and a black tie, black pants. So when they got to talking, they was like conversing, but the other one was, real quiet. So I hid because when I saw them coming out of that portal, I was like, I don't think they need to see me. So I hid. So the scenery changed where I was at, where I used to live. But the portal blended with the entrance and the exit of my house, the old house I used to live. And they was coming out, and I was still hiding behind a vehicle. So when they started looking at me, I realized, I said, okay, I need to go and get out and just talk to them. So I got out and started telling them, asking them, do y'all know what happened? Do you know this? And I was very hysterical. I was like, do you know what happened? This happened, this happened, this happened. And so they was like, no, what actually happened? I said, well, I said it was 4 jets, one from the north, one from the south, and one from the east, and one from the west. The one from the west fired first. The one from the east fired second. And all of a sudden smoke went everywhere and both of them disappeared. Then all of a sudden the other one from the north fired. The second one from the south fired. And I said smoke filled the sky. Then all of a sudden both of them left. And it was like nothing ever happened. I said the sky was clear. Everything went quiet. And I said, that's what happened. They both looked at each other and said, end time. And so when they said it, I was like, oh my God. So my heart, it just felt like it just dropped. And the dream bothered me so bad that when I got up, I knew what time it was. And so I got up and started praying and started repenting to God. I said, God, if there's anything in me that's not right, take it out of me. If my heart is not right with you, create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit in me. I said, because I don't want to be left here. Because it was like,
Armageddon. Should you fear it? What is Armageddon? Armageddon is called the War of the Great Day of God, the Almighty. It is a fight not merely among men, but one in which God's invisible armies take part. Its coming is certain, and it will take place at the time set by Jehovah God, who is doing according to his own will among the army.
That word is also pagan. All names are pagan.
Of the heavens and the inhabitants of the earth. Who will be destroyed at Armageddon? The whole world lying in Satan's power. Composition of the world lying in Satan's power as of 2014. 2/3 is made up of non-Christians, 4.7 billion people. India, Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and a significant port.
You know, most people are just gotten with religion, y'all serving that devil. Let's get further here, because I know he's trying to put some pagan stuff in it. Let's get going.
2.3 billion people is made up of professed Christians. But there is notable evidence lying in the power of the wicked one, Satan. Catholics and Protestants have become a part of the world, thus, they line themselves up under demonic control. 2/3 plus 1/3 equals the whole world lying in Satan's power. It is this world that will pass away. Though the extermination will be a terrible one, it will not be a complete one. For he that does the will of God remains forever. There are millions of righteous Christians on earth, but they are few compared to the billions on the broad and spacious road leading off into destruction. Unlike professed Christians...
Don't call yourself that. That's also pagan. We are people that serve the Most High, the source, the one only. We are the chosen people of the Most High, the source, the one we come from.
Righteous Christians are no part of the world lying in Satan's power. Thus, they become a peculiar people, belonging exclusively to God. They will be spared God's wrath. Why does God want to exterminate virtually all the inhabitants of the earth? 1, because they sacrifice to demons and not to God. God is jealous over his worship and over righteousness and will not tolerate any rivalry, the worship of any other gods. 2, because the earth is filled with violence. Wickedness is an infectious disease and is spreading like wildfire around the world. Billions are already infected and they mean to infect others. Therefore, God, Jehovah, is bringing vengeance upon those who do not know.
Remember, That word is pagan. The J word is pagan.
Know him, and those who do not obey the good news about him. Will the physical earth be destroyed? No. After the flood, God promised to never again curse the ground, call down evil upon the physical earth on man's account. For the inclination of the heart of man is bad from his youth up. And never again will he strike down every living thing, domestic animals, creeping animals, and flying creatures of the heavens, as he had done. God always keeps his promises. The extermination will be selective, like the last 7 plagues on Egypt. The target, ungodly men and sinners. What you must do to be saved. Take your stand on God's side. The world is sided with Satan. Do you get frightened when there is a severe thunderstorm, hurricane, or tornado, believing it is the end of the world? Armageddon will be far worse, resulting in the deaths of billions. It will be a terrifying time to be alive on earth, but for servants of God, it will mean their deliverance from the wicked is near. For the wicked will be torn away from the earth. Contact Jehovah's Witnesses at www.jw.org, and they will be more than willing to help you take your stand on God's side. The true religion will be a spiritual ark on the day of Jehovah's fury. The fear of Jehovah is the beginning of knowledge.